Karma and the narcissist. Don't you ever think, like, why doesn't anything bad ever happen to the narcissist? Isn't it time for karma to work on them? Let's break this down in this video. I know it like doesn't ever seem fair. I've been dealing with narcissists probably my whole life. I have helped many thousands of people as an attorney, as a coach with my programs. I have a high conflict negotiation certification course and beautiful souls. Let's talk about karma. So, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Rebecca Zung. I am an attorney. I am a best-selling author. I have all sorts of things for all of you guys. If you're new, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. And I know so many of you are like, it's just not fair, right? And I've always said, like, there's no like narcissism fairies that like jump out in the middle of your living room or wherever you are and go, hey, you can't do that. What are you doing? Like, it's not like karma happens like immediately, right? And stops you. And I've always said, as a lawyer, I always used to say, well, the only person who has any power over anybody is a judge. And even then, people don't always heed court orders, right? I mean, that happens all the time. Like, there's contempt motions out there or whatever. And even then, it doesn't always happen. I mean, people have to pay fees. So, what about karma and the narcissist? So, I mean, I think of the term karma in the sense of like not necessarily even like this mystical force, even though it could be, but I kind of think of karma in the sense of like a natural consequence of their behavior because it always ends up happening. They do always unravel, and it ends up where you do see that they end up kind of getting the natural consequences of their own behavior. And the person who moves on and really reclaims their life and begins to stand in their own authentic power and breaks free and becomes who they're meant to be, that's the true karma of it all. I love the analogy of the Wizard of Oz, frankly. I mean, I've always go back to the Wizard of Oz because that whole story is so perfectly crafted for narcissism. If you think about like the Wicked Witch and you think about the wizard and you think about Dorothy and you think about the Lion and the Tin Man and Glinda, all of those players really play such perfect parts for this. And if you think about how Dorothy was like searching for herself. And in some ways, she was like the empath who was like searching for something outside of herself and wanting to be validated and wanting to be finding this person. And really, it's the same thing with all of her friends. The Cowardly Lion was so fearful, and the Tin Man was looking for his heart, and the Scarecrow was looking for a brain. And so like they were all like searching for something outside of themselves. And so they're like, oh, let's go find this wizard. He's going to help us. And by the way, there's this wicked witch who's like horrible and attacking them. And who's like the bully, right? And who does the wicked witch have around them? The flying monkeys who are reporting back to her and smearing, right? And then who's helping, right? It's Glinda. Glinda, the good witch, who knows who she is the whole time. She's standing in her authentic power. She's nonplussed by all of them. And so when the Wicked Witch comes around her, even right at the beginning, she was like, go away. You have no power here. So the Wicked Witch was totally stayed away from her. You notice that she had respect for her, right? Because she knew who she was. Glinda knew who she was right from the beginning. She had complete and total authentic power. She was aligned with that source energy, who she knew who she was. So they finally get to Emerald City. This guy who's a complete total narcissist, right? He's layering on all this stuff. He's got to have this big house, this big thing. He's got this outside persona, which is exactly what narcissists do. They've got this outside persona, this sort of representative of themselves, but inside, who are they? Scared, feeble little people, which is exactly what this was. The man behind the curtain, nothing to see here. That's what a narcissist really is. And at the end of it, they figured out who they truly were, all of them. I always had it. I always had the heart. I always had the brain. I always had courage. I always had who I was. I always was home, but we had to learn it for ourselves. And Glinda tells them, you always had to learn it for yourself. But what happened with the Wicked Witch? She got her karma. She had the natural consequence of what happened. She ended up just kind of melting into the ground because Dorothy had it. And so, what happens with narcissists is they end up having to be alone. They end up being in isolation. They end up still living in fear. They end up having to move on from people to people. They don't have true connection. They don't have true relationships. They don't have real lives because people won't stay with them. People won't end up having real relationships with them. People will see that they're liars. People will see the true nature of who they are eventually. The people who move on from them, who become the true, real versions of themselves, who learn from it and who evolve and realize, oh my gosh, I was able to live through that. And I'm actually so much stronger as a result. And now I can actually help others. They become so much better as a result. You hear so often what goes around comes around. And it's so true. You reap what you sow. And, one of my favorite songs is The End by the Beatles, which was actually their last song on their last album. It was the song written by Paul McCartney, where the line says, "And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make." I'm actually getting the chills as I say this. But it's so true. If you don't give love, you're not going to get love. They're not going to be able to receive if they're not giving. They end up basically alone. And you can't help them with that. I know I see you empaths out there going, oh, that's so sad. No, they manifest what they've put out into the universe. It's just a law of physics, basically, right? I mean, it's a law of physics. That's really the way I see it. It's not even necessarily this woo woo stuff. To me, if you don't give, you're not going to be able to receive. I think that if you focus on your own growth, your own empowerment, and you prioritize your own self worth, you prioritize your own assertiveness, you align yourself with your source energy, your highest, truest self, your authentic self. You get into the flow of the vortex of that. And then you realize that the narcissist is going to be exposed as to who they truly are. That's the true karma of it. That's when karma results. I mean, I teach it all in my high conflict certification program because you are best served to help the person that you used to be. And that's how you can coach people in high conflict negotiation. You can help them in through high conflict conversations. You can help them through negotiations. You can help them and help them become resilient, help them focus on getting exceptional results, but also help them through that fear, lead them to becoming their highest best selves. Meanwhile, the narcissist is going to stay over there in their isolation and, potentially removal from organizations or divorce or whatever it is, while you help people with compassion, with wisdom. It's amazing. right? Put amazing in the comments because that's what the amazing part of is. That's where it's magical. You are on that journey. If you weren't on that journey, you wouldn't be here right now. You are where you are meant to be. So if you want help in negotiating with a narcissist, get my free Crush My Negotiation Prep worksheet. It's literally helped probably 100,000 people or more. You will be able to have your journey toward freedom. I know that that's what you're meant to do. So go to winmynegotiation.com, get it. It's going to help you toward your journey of freedom. Join my free private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung, and my book, Slay the Bully, How to Negotiate with a Narcissist and Win. This is your time. This is your moment. Make sure you like this video, you share it with people. Make sure you subscribe here, hit that notification bell. This is your enlightening journey into the realm of karma. You have the power to shape your own destiny and reclaim your strength, your confidence. Stand tall. Take a deep breath. In with good energy, and then exhale whatever is no longer serving you. Transcend the grasp of any narcissistic influence. So, the next video that I want you to watch is 5 weaknesses all narcissists have, but don't want you to know. Take care, stay empowered. I'll see you in the next powerful video. Remember that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'm Rebecca Zung, and I will see you over there.